Hello everybody, this is Centipede Geek here with you today, and today I have another DVD collection update video where I talk to you about all the latest DVDs, VHS tapes, video games. I also have a book to show you that I have picked up in about the last month or two. It's been a little while since I've done this. I believe the last one was either in June or July, so it's been quite a long time. I've kind of been getting busy and off track with a few things on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to try to get back on track with things. Anyways, though, let's get straight to the stuff. These are in no particular order, shall I say, so there's a lot of mix and match, so here we go. Starting off first with this, there are a few things I don't have in the case. I don't have these items in the case, but I'll go ahead and show them to you guys. This is an original Xbox game, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Recently picked this up. Deadly Alliance was always a pretty cool game. I don't have too much to say about it because I haven't played it in a long time, so not too much to say. Another game I picked, original Xbox game I picked up. I have played this one. This was pretty cool. I'm not really used to it, but this is, you can see here, Hitman Contracts. I'm more used to Blood Money. I like Blood Money more, but, you know, in order to play that, I have a 360. In order to play it on the Xbox 360, you have to get the actual Xbox 360 version, so I settled for Contracts. You know, the 360 version is like $25 on Amazon. Anyways, we have Contracts here. This one's pretty good. Graphics are still pretty decent. You know, you have some good combat mechanics, and some of it's a little outdated, but not a bad game. Pretty fun, you know. Little difficult though if you're first coming into Hitman. Little difficult. I do have the case for this next one, another Mortal Kombat game. This one's titled Armageddon. I've never played this one, but you know, it looks pretty fun. Looks like they have some racing here. Never played it, so I don't have too much to say about it either. These are always kind of cool games. I think the only Burnout I've actually played is Paradise. I think that's Burnout. But anyway, this one's called Battle Racing Ignited Burnout Revenge. I've never played this one, so I don't know anything about it besides I know you crash cars and they hit each other and blow up. I know it's like a really fun, it's more than like a racing game. It's almost like a demolition derby kind of game almost. Anyways, I'm not too familiar with the Burnout games, but anyways, there's the original Xbox title. This game I've always been curious about. I picked this one up. It's called Shadow Ops Red Mercury. I don't know too much about it. I guess it's a military-based. Looks like a first-person shooter kind of military-based game. I hope it's not too generic though, because a lot of these kind of games can be kind of generic in my own opinion. We have another. We're gonna go into the PS2 game that I got. I don't have the official case for it, but I have a kind of a makeshift case that the person I bought made for it. But anyways, it's the PlayStation 2 game called God of War. It says God of War, but it's actually God of War 2, as you can see. Anyways, God of War has always been a great franchise. I know I believe the latest one that's coming out, or is already out, something like that. I think the latest one is called Ascension, so keep your eyes on that if you like the God of War franchise. Anyways, God of War 2 was always my favorites. I've only played the first two, but anyways, God of War, very cool game. I'm not even big on the whole hack and slash franchise thing, but it's one of the better hack and slash games in my opinion. That and Hunter's the Reckoning, if you guys know that is. Now we're going to get to my latest DVDs that I picked up, and I'll talk a little bit more about these because I have seen most of the DVDs that I picked up. I've been able to actually watch them. First up, we have the special edition of The Howling. If you don't know what The Howling is, it's pretty much an 80s werewolf movie directed by, I believe, by Joe Dante, who also, if you don't know, did the Gremlins, both 1 and 2, both Gremlins 1 and Gremlins 2, the new batch. He also did the original Piranha film back in 1978, so, you know, notable for that. Anyways, this is a great film, probably, if not, one of my all-time favorite werewolf films. I enjoyed this more than the American Werewolf in London. That's just me, though. I do like the transformation better in American Werewolf in London, but as a werewolf film, I feel like The Howling is better. That's just my opinion, you know. Anyways, The Howling's really cool. Kind of a real cool plot twist at the end. You know, this has lots of special features. Making of documentary, deleted scenes, outtakes, another documentary, commentary with Joe, Dante, Dee Wallace, Christopher Stone, and Robert Picardo, photo, trailers, all kinds of stuff on here. Anyways, if you guys haven't seen this, definitely check it out. LA says one of the best werewolf movies ever made. I would go ahead and call it the best, even though I haven't seen everything out there. This is definitely one to pick up and watch if you haven't seen it. Anyways, sorry I hit my webcam. Anyways, my next one is a season set of a ABC television series that actually just recently got canceled. Not too recently, but and that is The River. First season of The River, and the only season there ever will be. If you guys are curious, this never got, though I had a petition, though I got tons of views, and though I'm sure tons of people signed the petition, it never got Netflix went ahead and passed. They went ahead and passed this by. They passed this on and Terra Nova on, so we'll never see a season 2 of The River, but season 1 was great. It does end with a cliffhanger. I won't say what the cliffhanger is, but it does end with a pretty hefty cliffhanger. So anyways, this is definitely something to check out. I know it critically didn't do too well because of the whole found footage thing, and just that whole thing didn't work well with some people on television, but I personally loved it. One of my all-time favorite television series, that is American Horror Story being first, and this being second. Anyways, if you don't know, it's from the director of Paranormal Activity, Oren Peli, and the executive producer, Steven Spielberg. So definitely something to check out. I'll try not to say too much, but it's basically about this guy who has a TV show, and he goes missing out on, I believe, the Amazon River, and his son and his wife and kind of some family and a film crew go out to look for him. And all these kind of paranormal things start to take place, and it's a really cool show. It is in found footage, but I think it's really cool. It really does some things that I've never really seen in a found footage type of filmography. So, anyways, The River is definitely something to check out. I believe this is 8 episodes, 2 discs, lots of special features and stuff like that. So definitely one to check out. James Panowski from Time.com says the suspenseful hurtling water ride of a TV show. So you guys should definitely check this out. Actually, the way I actually got this, funny thing, is I actually won this from Fangoria.com for a contest they were doing. They gave a few of these out, and I entered in and won. What are the odds, right? Anyways, next is also another season set. I just recently finished the first season of, that is, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't have a case because it was picked up at a local pawn shop I live near. And anyways, really cool. Got it for about $5 or $3. My mistake, $3. And that's great because I believe it's roughly 12 or 13 episodes, and it's 3 discs. Go ahead and open this up so you guys can see this. No slipcase, but 3 disc, and for $3, why not, Anyways, Buffy, I love the first season of Buffy. My favorite characters are probably, Giles, Buffy's mentor. I like the person who has a thing for her. He's kind of, a comical relief kind of guy. And then my most favorite character in the show is the Lord Vampire, that is the big villain in at least the first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So anyways, this is a really cool television series. Josh Whedon, who did Avengers and The Cabin in the Woods, did this, and it's really something to check out if you haven't seen it. I'm a pretty big fan. Not like a huge fan, but I do think Buffy the Vampire Slayer is pretty cool. I've only seen the first season, just so you guys know. This next thing I'm actually right now currently on the 2nd season of this next show I'm about to talk about, episode 5, and that is I bought off Amazon the first season of Nip Tuck, created by Ryan Murphy, who's known for Glee, American Horror Story, and also Nip Tuck, which I believe he did back in 2003 is when it started. This aired for about 7 seasons. This I do have the slipcase for. This is a great series, some really, really phenomenal episodes. Lots of drama, there are lots of blood, because it's if you don't know what the series is about, it's about 2 plastic surgeons who they're both in their late 30s, about to turn 40 years old. They're getting older. They're going through pretty much a midlife crisis in their time of life in their era right now, and it's just a great show. Kind of a cool little holographic cover, if you can see there what it does. It goes from a regular eye, and then it goes to an eye kind of bandage up. So kind of interesting. You see there? Anyways, US Today calls it engrossing and utterly fearless. Anyways, it's really cool. Lots of bonuses, three making of documentaries, music video. They talk about whether or not the surgeries they do are actually real or fake, like if the techniques they use, the makeup, cutting room, deleted scenes, all kinds of stuff. So anyways, I believe the first season is roughly 12 or 13 episodes. I'll go ahead and just take this out and show this guys to you. There's 3 discs there. And then 2 more here. Anyways, this is one of my favorite season sets because I really like the way it's designed. So anyways, definitely something to pick up if you like Nip Tuck. Real cheap on Amazon. This next one is a 3-disc, all kinds of horror films. It's 3-disc, and there's about 9 horror films on it. It's called Horrific. I've watched one of the films. These all range from the I believe they all range. Let's see here. The earliest dated one is 1959, and the latest one they have is 1987. So there's films from 50s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s on here. It's just a whole bunch of kind of real low budget B kind of films. I've only seen one of them, and that is Horrors of Spider Island, and that was a pretty good one. It was a film made in 1959, black and white, of course. A really cool one. There were some parts that I wasn't too fond of, but there were other parts that I liked. Anyways, if you know any of these movies, I'm just going to kind of read them off to you. It has Gothic, Devil's Nightmare, and The House on the Edge of the Park on Disc 1. On Disc 2, it has Bloody Pit of Horror, Horrors of Spider Island, and The Sisters of Death. On Disc 3, we have Terror Creatures from the Grave, The Night She Arose from the Tomb, and A Vampire's Niece, all on Disc 3. Anyways, each disc has one bonus feature on it, posters, and stuff like that. Anyways, pretty cool. Next, we have a Wes Craven thriller by the name of Red Eye. If you don't know, this all takes place about 30,000 some odd feet in the air in an airplane, and it's pretty much about a girl who gets on the airplane and is confronted by this guy who pretty much is not who he seems to be. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Bill Deal from ABC Radio calls it a killer of a thriller. Some cool special features, all kinds of stuff going on. It stars Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy. So if you know who those people are, might be something you want to check out. Oh, I forgot to also say, The River has one star you probably know in it, but she doesn't appear till later on in the series, and it's actually the main girl. I don't know her name, but it's the main girl from Paranormal Activity, who plays Katie. Anyways, she plays a character later on in Paranormal Activity. So anyways, might be something you want to check out. Anyways, back to the DVDs I've gotten. I've also got Contagion. Now, I watched this recently, and honestly, I forgot to give my opinion on Red Eye. I watched Red Eye recently. It's a great film. The ending's really cool. I really think Red Eye is a pretty cool thriller. Not a horror film, but really cool thriller. Really does keep you on the edge of your seat, and I really liked Red Eye. I'll probably post a review later on about it. Anyways, this next film is called Contagion. This has all kinds of actors in it. Matt Cotillard, Matt Damon, or Marion Cotillard, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kate Winslet. It says Nothing Spreads Like Fear, and the movie's called Contagion. Now, if you don't know, this film's actually been confirmed for a sequel. I don't think a director or any actors are attached yet, but it has been confirmed. The studio has confirmed it for a sequel. So, anyways, I don't agree with any of these things they say on the back, but I'll go ahead and read them off to you. NBC TV says, taut and thought-provoking, this movie is infectious to the core. Fox TV says, one of the best films of the year. Pitch-perfect pacing and great performances. I do think the performances are great, though. I will agree with that. Gripping, provocative, and deeply engaging is what Access Hollywood says. I do think it does kind of make you think, and it does somehow have great performances, but that's about it. This was honestly, in my full opinion, Contagion was very disappointing. It was worth a watch. I do think I do like the last I'd say the last like 5 minutes of the movie is really cool, but I just thought it was very vague. There's a lot of talking, and I don't mind good dialogue. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind good dialogue at all. But I was hoping for more of the disease outbreak, and I was hoping for more of that, and I just didn't get that. That was one of the reasons I didn't like the film, but it didn't give me, what I wanted. So anyways, like I said, very dissatisfied with Contagion, but it did get decently reviewed, so it might be something you want to check out. A lot of well-known actors in that movie. This movie I was very fond of. It was a movie called Godsend, starring Greg Kinnear, Robert De Niro, and Rebecca Roman Stamos. This was a pretty cool one. I just watched this yesterday, actually, and this one's really cool. They call Robert Elder calls it a tight, handsomely crafted movie, and James Rocci from Netflix calls it a subtle, insidiously creepy thriller. It is kind of a thriller. It does have some really cool scenes, a twist kind of at the end, and kind of one of those cool PG-13 thriller with some horror vibes to it, But I won't say anything about the plot because it's kind of one of those films that if I was to tell you anything, it just gives some stuff away. So anyways, Godsend is definitely one to check out. Another film that I picked up at Walmart just a few days ago. Never seen it until just a few days ago, or I did believe just the day before yesterday, actually. And that is The Mummy. This is actually the 100th Universal Anniversary edition of The Mummy. Mummy came out back in 1999, I believe. And I'll just go ahead and open this up for you because I thought this was really cool. It gives you a kind of a timeline of all the famous Universal films. I believe they have all the Bourne films in this, and I believe they have some others that they recently issued in this 100th anniversary. I believe Waterworld's one of those, and some others. Anyways, it kind of talks about some of the films all the way from '93 to 2000 of the big iconic films like Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Babe, Waterworld, Casino, The Big Lebowski, Gladiator, a bunch of Universal films that they believed were American Pie that were okay to mention. And it shows, and if you see there, how the Mummy was released between The Big Lebowski and American Pie back on May 7th of 1999. Anyways, I really like the inside. It's one of the reasons I got it, because I really liked the slipcase and everything. And then I ended up watching the movie, and it just was really satisfied. I really liked The Mummy. One of those really cool action-adventure type movies with some really cool effects, some really cool actions and adventure scenes. Just a really fun and entertaining movie. Not much wrong with The Mummy. All kinds of special features. Digital copy, not that I really care, but it does have that. And in-depth, creative look at how it was made, commentary, the effects, deleted scenes, etc., etc. All kinds of stuff. Definitely want to check out if you haven't seen it. Next up, sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. I got a lot of stuff that I've gotten recently if you haven't noticed. So this is going to be kind of a long video. Thanks for watching, though. Anyways, next we have the unweighted widescreen edition of Jennifer Connelly starring in the film Dark Water. I believe this is actually a remake of an Asian or Japanese film of some kind, and I believe that Asian or Japanese film was actually adapted from a book. I'm not 100% for sure on those details, but I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard at least. Clay Smith from The Insider says, will jolt you right out of your seat. I don't know too much about it because I have not seen this one. Yes, it is. I was right. From the author of The Ring. So same guy who wrote the book The Ring, wrote the book The Dark Water, which was a Japanese film or whatever, Asian, whatever, and then was made into a movie, and now this is the American remake called Dark Water. This is complete nonsense, probably, but I'll go ahead and read it off to you. It says, Pete Hammond from Maxim says, even Hitchcock could not have done it better. I don't know about that, but I'll watch it and let you guys know later on. Anyways, don't know too much about it. Apparently it's one of those, it's unrated, so maybe I'll get some blood, right? I'm really satisfied with this one. I picked this up for $5 at a local DVD shop that I have near a town I live in. And, that is Stephen King's Rose Red. Now, if you don't know what this is a really cool one. This film is, I think it's like 5 hours, if not, it's like 4.5 or 5 hours long. It's not a mini TV series like Tommyknockers or Storm of the Century or anything like that. It's a actual movie, PG-13. Anyways, all kinds of special features on here. This is actually adapted from a Stephen King book, of course, called Ellen Rumbar, My Life at Rose Red. The movie, I believe, from what I understand, the book's written like a diary. Yeah, because it says the diary of Ellen Rumbar. Anyway, excuse me. Anyways, Rose Red is a real cool one. 2-disc, of course. And this is really one to pick up. If you don't know what it's about a house that apparently has had some kind of, I believe, some kind of paranormal activity or some stuff like that within the last few years. And since then, it hasn't had any activity of any kind. So now this teacher wants to go investigate, and she brings all these other people in with her, including a 15-year-old autistic girl who comes in with them. And that's pretty much, and they investigate the house, and it turns into this big ordeal, and it's a really cool one. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember liking it a lot. Anyways, Rose Red's a cool one. This next one I recently watched and was very satisfied with it. It got horribly reviewed, and I'll give you little fun facts here in a second or two. Anyways, that is Daniel Craig, Naomi Watts, and Rachel Weisz starring in the film called Dream House. And here's, slipcase and all. Anyways, it's one of those PG-13 films, one of those very well done PG-13 films, in my opinion at least. Rotten Tomatoes, it got, I believe, like a 6 or a 7%. They said something about the film is too obvious to be scary. And I don't think, in my full opinion, I don't think the film is trying to be scary, so I don't think it failed in any of that, because it's not trying to be scary, so, I just think that Rotten Tomatoes just needs to be kicked around for saying that, because that was really kind of a dumb thing to say. It's not, the movie's not trying, from what I understand, this is more of a thriller, just a straight up thriller with a few horror vibes to it, but I don't think the filmmaker's goal was to scare you. I personally, my opinion is that I don't think he meant to do that. He might have, but I don't think he meant to. So Rotten Tomatoes, I think they misinterpreted the director's meaning wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted it. I don't know. Anyways, I'll go ahead and give you guys a few fun facts. So, Daniel Craig and all the actors in full, especially Daniel Craig, Rachel, and the director, those three especially hated the final cut of this film so much that they attended no press conferences, they didn't go to the red carpet event, none of this. You can look this all up if you guys want to verify this information. Anyways, they didn't go to any of the promotion events, no interviews, red carpet, premiere, nothing like that, because they hated the way the film turned out. One of the directors, when asked why, the director said one of the main reasons was because the way the trailer was marketed and the way the film was promoted, because apparently I have not seen the trailer, and I advise you, if you have seen the trailer, try to forget about it as much as possible. And if you have not seen the trailer, don't watch it. It's one of those trailers very similar with the Apparition movie that recently came out. It's one of those trailers that gives away the plot twist. There's a plot twist about halfway in the film, and the trailer gives that away. Anyway, that's all I'll say. Anyways, Dream House is a very cool movie. I really enjoyed Dream House. Solid 8.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 9, because I'm just feeling generous. Because Dream House, nothing wrong with it, just a really cool film. Anyways, that is all the DVDs and Xbox games and PS2 games that I picked up in the past month or two. Now I'm going to talk about some of the VHS tapes that I picked up. Got a decent amount of these too. But anyways, first we have the 13 Ghost on VHS. I have not seen this, so I don't know much of anything about it. Maybe you guys know. Some people consider VHS tapes obsolete. I disagree. Like this video and comment below if you also disagree, right? Anyways, this next one is a Mel Brooks film starring Gene Wilder, I believe is his name, from Willy Wonka. And this film was made in 1974, I believe. Young Frankenstein. Like I said, Gene Wilder stars in it. And if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much a spoof of Frankenstein. You have all the original characters, but they're playing huge idiots pretty much. And it's a really, I've seen the first hour of it, and it's a really fun film. Just really funny. It is shot in black and white, just like Frankenstein, and it's really cool. I believe it's a Fox film. Anyways, 20th Century Fox, and it's just a really cool one. You guys should really check this out. Next up is 3 random episodes, all the way dating back from 1989, I believe, from the first season, and that is Tales from the Crypt. Says all new, not now, but I guess back then it was, right? Anyways, 3 terrific tales featuring Leah Thompson, Amanda Plummer, and Emmett Walsh. Anyways, real cool one here. I haven't watched these 3 episodes yet. I have season 6 and 7 on DVD, and now I have 3 random episodes from the first season of Tales from the Crypt. At least I think it's from the first season. 90 minutes worth. Pretty cool, right? Next up, I have an action fantasy film, I believe, by the name of The Crow. Not one of those lame sequels, actually, you know, The Crow. Brandon Lee. Rolling Stone says dazzling and hypnotic, and Washington Post says fast-moving action. I have not seen it, so I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to comment too much on it because I don't know what's about. I sometimes on purpose, actually a lot of times on purpose, I don't read the back of something because I don't want to know anything about it. I'd rather go into a movie blind, you know. And sometimes, you know, you have to watch a trailer to know if you're going to like something. But the way trailers are made nowadays, I almost just want to read like maybe a sentence of the plot, and if that one sentence sounds intriguing and interesting enough, I'll check it out. Anyways, this next thing I have is another Stephen King film, and that is Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. This is actually adapted from one of his short stories, and it's pretty much about, I won't say what, but there is something inside of this mill that these workers work at that is taking out the workers. And there's kind of a crazy boss involved, and there's a lot of things in here. Anyways, Graveyard just kind of a cool, gets kind of campy and kind of funny at times, unintentionally, I think. But it's a fun film. I enjoyed Graveyard Shift very much when I watched it, not about a week or 2 ago. So, anyways, definitely something to check out. This last VHS tape is actually The Clamshell Case. It's a Disney film. You know, weird for me to pick up a Disney film. Anyways, this is one I've always liked, though, and that is, of course, you can read the title, Robin Williams starring in Disney's Flubber. This is a real cool one. I've always liked it. You know, back when Robin Williams was real long, as you can see here. This is a real cool one. I know what it's about, but I forget a lot of main and interesting events in the movie because it's been a year since I've seen this. So anyways, very cool. That is all the DVDs and VHS tapes and Xbox games and PS2 games that I picked up. I have one book that I picked up that I want to talk a little bit about, and that is Aberrat. I don't think I've talked about this. If I have, forgiven me. I don't think I have talked about this yet. If I have, you know, then here it is again. Anyways, this is written by a man named Clive Barker, you know, who did Hellraiser, and this is the most recent book that I picked up. I just recently finished this, actually, I believe, about a month or so ago, and this was a great book. Lately, I've been getting back into reading. I read this, which I read back my sophomore year in high school, really enjoyed it. Read it again, enjoyed it even more the second time. Now I've read Cujo, Stephen King's, both Cujo and Stephen King's Carrie, and I like those both. And now I'm reading Clive Barker's first book back in 1985 titled The Damnation Game, and that one's really cool too. Anyways, this is pretty much a fantasy piece. A lot of people call it a kid's book, but I wouldn't say that. I would say it's one of Clive Barker's more underrated books. I believe it's a very unrated one, or unrated. I don't mean unrated. I mean overlooked is what I mean. I believe a lot of people overlook this, but everyone should give it a chance. It's kind of I would say, kind of a young adult, maybe ages maybe 16 all the way to ages, late 30s, I believe anybody of any age can read it, but I don't think a 10-year-old or, an 11-year-old or even 12-year-old, maybe a 12-year-old probably would. I mean, a 10-year-old really wouldn't know. So when people say this is a kid's book, I wonder what they mean when they say that, because I think a 16-year-old can read this and still get some enjoyment, at least, if you see what I'm trying to say. Anyways, it's pretty much about Candy, and she gets some Candy Quackenbush is her name, and she lives in a town called Chicken Town, in Minnesota, I believe, and she's tired of. She believes her life is very, very boring, and she ends up getting. I won't say how, but she ends up getting taken to this other world titled Abarat, of course. And she goes on lots of adventures there. It's a really, really fun adventure book, just really cool. I really like it. There's even a few violent parts in there. Not a ton, but there are some violent parts. Clive Barker doing Hellraiser, when Midnight Meat Train and all kinds of stuff. Of course it's gonna be violent. Nightbreed. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and if you don't know, this is it's the hardcover edition, and actually he paints over half the book, or at least a little less than half the book, and then writing, and then there's of course reading material with it also. So a lot of the characters are painted. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you some of the paintings. I'm not gonna show too much because I don't want to give anything away. But anyways, he paints. A lot of times you have to visualize what the reader is intending, but this time he paints so you can see it in your own certain perspective. Anyways, there's a painting. Let me show you just a few more. He paints these all himself and just puts them in the book, so they take, a few years to actually write. I believe there's like a 7-year gap between the second and the third book, and he has 5 books planned, a quintet. I'll go ahead and show you just one more painting that I don't think will give anything away. Oh, here we go. Anyways, that's Abarat. Very cool. Well, that's my DVD collection update. Not really a DVD collection update, but a lot of stuff update where I talked about, you just watched the video where I talked about all kinds of stuff. Well, I know it's been a 31-minute video, and I thank everyone who has watched the full 30-some minutes. And if you didn't, I still thank you for going to my channel and viewing my videos. Anyways, thank you for watching today. I will probably have another update. It might take another month or two, but I definitely will have one sometime in the future. Like I said, I've been tied up with a lot of things recently. Anyways, thanks for watching another Centipede Geek video. And like, comment, subscribe to the page below. And I'll see you guys later with another DVD collection update.